Okay, so I'm back, and I'm just going to be talking about the Aang movie. I didn't think I was going to be back. I said I might, but I think I'm going to do it. Now, I could definitely make like a more structured review and, piece by piece, just like talk about every aspect of the movie. And I really did think about that for a while, actually, but I think I'm just going to do it like this, kind of like just talking to you guys about it. Um, so, first and foremost, you know, the video that I previously uploaded, I did mention that I watched the movie already. I resubscribed to Paramount Plus and I watched it twice on there in 4K and it was glorious. But yeah, so I just want to let you guys know, yes, I am supporting the movie. I did financially support the movie. And I recommend that you all do it if you can. Um but everything with all that said, let's actually talk about the movie. So, I really enjoy the movie. First and foremost, just full stop. I really enjoy the movie. I actually love a lot of it. But in my previous video, you probably, if you watched it, you probably remember, I said that it kind of sucks. So here's my perspective on that. When I say that it kind of sucks, so it's 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 interesting because like on a script level, I think that the movie is very it's a very challenging movie to do. Like you have to establish the Avatar universe to like people who haven't seen it somehow. You have to be a sequel to Avatar: The Last Airbender and please those fans. You have to be good in and of itself. You have to consistently lay everything out on the table. You have to establish every character again as if it's like the first time. You got to, focus on Aang as a character. You can't really give everybody screen time. Um, I get it. This is a very difficult movie to make in a lot of ways. I think a sequel is much easier to do because this already establishes it as kind of like a pseudo movie trilogy if they were to do something like that, or like a prequel to the sequel. So they don't really have to establish the characters anymore if they were to do a sequel, which hopefully they do because I liked it. But anyway, I am I'm fully aware that this is a very difficult movie to make. It's a difficult movie to write. It really is. It genuinely is. This is a very challenging task. And I do think that they succeed for the most part in the setups and the establishments. I do think they did a pretty good job with that. When I say that it sucks, I think that it just does a lot of small things that add up and punch a lot of holes in the movie for me. So this is going to be a spoiler-filled movie, or a review of the movie, and I'm going to explain a couple of plot points, for example. So I'm going to get the negatives out of the way. I think that it's kind of crazy that the movie is based on this whole like there's an airbender that we've never heard of from thousands of years ago that's in a mountain that we've never heard of in a part of the world that is technically not on the Avatar map. I mean, I don't see a really big mountain anywhere. Um, Now, granted, obviously that's just because they literally made up Mount Baihu for the movie, and that's fine. That's not the issue. I'm just saying, like, consistency wise, it's just kind of like odd that like, oh, there's just by the way, guys, there's this mountain, Mount Baihu, and there's a airbender in there. Of course, it's high enough to where nobody could get to it. Very convenient. So that explains why it never got touched for 5,000 years. Haha, we checked off all the boxes. It's just weird. It's off. I'll buy it. I totally like I'm able to get wrapped into the movie. I'll accept it, but I definitely think that it's kind of weak. Like there's this big ass mountain. I also think that, the ocean storms, like that's a little crazy. Uh not unbelievable, but I also think it ties into like, okay, well, we need a reason why, even if you were to free this airbender, well, there's definitely a place where this air nomad staff is, and it's far away over an uncrossable ocean where there's nothing out there, and there's a giant storm. You know what I'm trying to say. It's just it seems like the movie has a lot of trouble uh, weaving itself into the lore and maintaining itself as a movie when it comes to shit like that. It just feels weird. Like when you're watching Avatar: The Last Airbender, and Korra had this issue too, but I may or may not go into that. Probably won't. But when you're watching the original series, you now have to go, okay, wow, holy shit. When Aang is fighting Ozai, wow, like a couple thousand miles away, there's this like giant mountain somewhere, and Taga is up there. And this is 12-year-old Aang fighting Ozai. You know what I mean? Like there's going to be this weird cognitive dissonance. And I guess that's fine-ish. Like retroactively that's kind of okay. You're able to kind of just go, "Hey, this is a fantasy world. It's got a lot of history. There's a lot of stuff we don't know. There's a lot of rules that perhaps we don't know, even though I think that it's mostly established and they shouldn't mess with those rules." But yeah, there's a lot of history and a lot of things can have happened and a lot of things can happen. I understand that. I really do. I just find it really difficult to believe or suspend my disbelief if I'm really thinking about the script and the way it was written to believe that there was like this giant mountain up in the north somewhere and it's never been mentioned before. It's never been talked about in the lore. It's just for this movie, just so they can have Taga far away and make it believable on paper that nobody would have freed him for 5,000 years because it's so windy that an air nomad can't even fly up there with his staff, which is why they have Aang climbing up it with, earthbending pillars and shit like that. Like, they do a good enough job to explain it, but I just feel like the explanations themselves are so, like, of course. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but I really do think that that is kind of a flaw with the movie. It's not the biggest flaw, but it definitely is in terms of suspension of disbelief and like, why wasn't this mentioned before? Can I even believe that it's convenient enough that there's an airbender out there when Aang is feeling sad about the fact that there's no more airbenders and he just runs into them and it's like, oh, well, conveniently there's Taga up here. But anyway, that actually moves on to my next point. Um, I think it's crazy that the movie is built on the coincidence that, okay, so Aang finds this little relic. It's like this statue of Avatar Sonam. And, there's a map that leads to the staff. So, okay, Aang doesn't know about it. And that's okay because it's 5,000 years old. That I could buy that. But these guys that denied, these random fucking non-benders, these terrorists, they know about it. They know, but Aang doesn't. Aang is an airbender. He grew up in the Southern Air Temple, and he doesn't know about this. But they do. They know more about Sonam than he does. And not only that, but they know that there is a map that will lead them to the staff just so they can conveniently get airbending? This is what I'm trying to say. I really feel like the movie has a lot of many things like that. And maybe, perhaps that's not a small problem. Perhaps that is a kind of glaring, I guess you could say it is a plot hole, but it's more of just like a plot convenience. It just doesn't make sense to me. And I'll again, like I said, I'll buy it. I'll bite on. I'm like, okay, maybe they were waiting for Aang, or maybe they were waiting because they couldn't find the relic, and then they saw that Aang had it, and they were waiting for the right moment to strike at the Southern Air Temple. Like, there's a lot of bullshit that you can kind of concoct to explain it away. To be honest, like it doesn't really just make any sense to me. And listen, like I said, I'll buy it. I'll bite onto it, but these are issues, and I think they add up. Um, I also think that it's crazy that Taga is just that fucking powerful, dude. Holy shit, he is like fucking really strong. And listen, I'll be the first to say, airbending, people don't really think about this. Airbending is actually really overpowered. It's like the Force in the Avatar universe. It's like, these guys can control the earth. These guys can generate fire. These guys can move water around. Imagine a guy who can just like fucking push you off a building or push you off a mountain without even touching you. Like, that's airbending. Airbending is a crazy fucking thing. There's air all around you. People don't actually think about that. Airbending is really powerful. It's a really powerful thing. People are walking through air all the time. It's a very powerful element. It's like you're walking through a weapon that an airbender can use. But anyway, my point is airbending is powerful, and I know that. And maybe you guys should understand that too. Maybe sometimes people don't think about it because they think of airbending as like the peaceful element or whatever. And I'm not getting into the whole, well, actually, we do know that airbending is powerful because Zahir, killed the Earth Queen in The Legend of Korra Book 3. I know. That's not what I mean, though. I'm talking about the actual usage of the element. The element itself is really powerful. But anyway, Taga is way too powerful, man. He's just like insane. Bro literally held up a massive chunk of Mount Baihu with like an air blast with his hand, and it was like no issue. Like, I didn't even really see any struggle. And don't get me wrong, that scene is fucking, oh my god, what a great scene. And we will get into the positives. This is not all negative, guys, but it's just crazy. And then I appreciate that they mention it. I do appreciate that they mention it. Like Katara, when he's healing Taga later on, says, his chi is strong. It's unlike anything I've ever seen. But that's just the script cleaning things up to make things work. And kind of like, the mountain being really tall and an air nomad can't even fly up there to free somebody if they wanted to. It's just the script tying up loose ends. It's like the rewrite almost. And that stuff is important. You do have to have those lines. You do have to have Taga. If you're going to have him be that powerful, you're going to have to mention, okay, that was impressive. Somebody just lifted a mountain with airbending. That's never been done before, except for an Avatar. So you do have to have those lines, and that's good, but I just feel like the script is like, oh, here's this crazy thing that is technically unbelievable, but there's technically an explanation for it. And I'm just like, okay, I don't love that. I think that's just not good writing. It's just not a good script. And, it goes further into this, like Taga, man, maybe I'm blowing my load a little too early here, but like Aang gets his fucking ass kicked, and I'm just gonna say it, man. Full stop. That's crazy. And before anyone says, before any Korra fan goes, oh, the shoe's on the other foot now. You guys always complain about Korra getting her ass kicked. Listen, Korra does get her ass kicked, but she shouldn't, guys. That's the problem. Korra loses fights. And when she loses fights, it's not okay. It's the circumstances are not good enough. Now, you say Book 4 Kuvira fight, the first time they fight in front of Xiaofu. Well, she's going through PTSD and she doesn't have all the poison out and she's rusty. I understand that. And again, that's just clearing up inconsistencies. That's just like, that's not. The Avatar is so powerful. They are God. They are God in that universe. They are not. They're a demigod, really. You want to say because they're human, but like you want to. But in reality, they are a deity in that world. They're an incarnation. now I guess they're in the incarnation of the spirit of light and peace. But you know, there was a time when the Avatar was the spirit of the planet in human form. But we're not going to get into that. But anyway, they are a deity. They are powerful. No army can match them. No nation can face them. They are the outlier in the universe. The Avatar state, once they unlock it, they're unbeatable. Now you can cheap shot shit, you know, like Azula did with Aang and Avatar, but like the actual like, okay, I'm fighting you head on. It's over. You are fighting an Avatar. That's why Ozai, when he is fighting Aang, when he triggers the Avatar state, Ozai is, you know, it's Sozin's Comet, right? Super powerful. The most powerful firebender in the world is now 100 or more times more powerful than he usually is. Capable of creating walls of flames the size of skyscrapers, fire blasts that are like space shuttle exhaust. You know, powerful shit. He is a little bitch when Aang goes into the Avatar state at age 12. It is not even a contest. There is no way Aang can get hit by Ozai in a straight bout, even at Ozai's most powerful. That is the Avatar state. Able to erupt volcanoes, able to lift an ocean with the flick of the wrist, able to cause a hurricane, able to split an island off a landmass and push it with air bending into the sea, hundreds of miles out. That is the Avatar. So when Korra loses fights, and I'll get back to the Aang thing, I know I'm going off on a big rant and a big tangent, but when Korra loses fights, we are complaining about the writing. We are complaining. Now, a lot of people are saying, you know, Korra sucks and all that. I blame the script. And that's why people think Korra sucks. Because the script does the Avatar dirty in Korra. And I'm shocked that all these people defend it. And they're like, oh, well, you know, that's just Korra's going through an arc. No, man. Korra's fully realized. She shouldn't be losing like this. And the same, and here's my going back to the Aang movie. This is the problem with the Aang losing in the Aang movie. Is he is a fully realized Avatar. He's not going through trauma like Korra does, so there's not that excuse. And he's not going through a metallic poisoning from mercury. So there's not like a physical ailment to it either. So there's no spiritual issue and there's no physical issue. So technically speaking, even though they're both not well written aspects of both Korra and the movie, Aang should be way better off than Korra was even fighting Kuvira in front of Zaofu. So why did he fucking die? They kill Aang in this movie. They kill him. It's crazy. Now, don't get me wrong. It's effective for drama. It works for the drama of the movie and the scene itself. Don't get me wrong. It does. And it's like a oh shit moment. It's a really powerful, oh my God, did they really do this again? Holy fuck. But the problem is, you know, like Taga has this like air bending ability where he's like, you know, he creates this like condensed air bullet. And it's cool. It's a little weird for bending and it feels more magical. But, and you can go into that, but I'm not going to. I don't think it's that big of a deal. But, you know, he's got this ability and he kills everybody else. And, you know, they're really powerful. I'm blown away that he was able to beat their ass that much, that badly. But again, airbending is powerful, like I said, so I'll buy it. He fucking kills Aang in like the first minute. He's like probably like the first 30 seconds of fighting him. Fully realized Avatar. And not only fully realized, not even just fully realized. And I hate using this term because anime fans love to do this. They love to use this terminology with like death battles and shit like that. But it is an applicable term for the scene. Aang is bloodlusted. He just found out that his wife was killed and his best friends were killed. So it's like he is not only fully realized he's 25 years old, he's fucking jacked. He's fucking ripped. He's in the avatar state, full anger, and then Taga's just like boop and you're dead. Now I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, "Oh, well he was holding the Sonam stiff." And yes, that is true. It is 100% true. He was holding the stiff. But it's kind of like unclear the rules with the stiff, and that also is another issue. The rules of the stiff. So they kind of show that when he's holding it, it glows a certain color, and I guess that's when it's activated. But like his airbending abilities seem to be only slightly more powerful than he would be without the staff when he's holding the staff. And it just seems inconsistent. He's just like really, really powerful. He's able to kill the Avatar. And I think that there's something really weird about the fact that like Taga kills him, right? And I know he fought Sonam, and I get that, but like he kills the Avatar, and like he doesn't even like think about it. He's just kind of like, he is a person in this world. He just killed God. There's no moment where he's like, he takes a deep breath and closes his eyes and realizes what he's done, and then goes, I had to do what I had to do. But no, he's just like, he kills Aang, and it's like, oh, I killed the Avatar. I need to create an empire. There's something just off about the writing in this movie. It's not as razor sharp as it should be. There's other minor issues too, like Aang. In the beginning of the movie, when he is at the Southern Air Temple, he finds the Sonam's relic, puts it in the collection, and then he sees Monkey Atso's beads, and he lifts them up and he says, "I miss you." And it's like, this is what I'm talking about. So, and you're gonna think this is nitpickery, and feel free to, because it kind of is. But like, you gotta understand what I'm trying to say. Showing and not telling, and you might think, oh well, there's plenty of moments like this in Avatar. Not really. Only when it's necessary. You'd be surprised. Like I said in my previous videos, you guys just need to watch that original series. It's pretty great. Um, it's very good with this, actually. It's very good at this. But anyway, there's you have this opportunity for this emotional moment, and the script says, "I miss you," and it's like you could have had that on the expression, on the facial expression. You could have had this moment where, like, we saw Gyatso in the movie, for example, so this works with some people who haven't watched the series. They see that he has a necklace, and then Aang lifts up the necklace and then just goes, and then maybe looks down and then puts it down and then continues the scene. I actually think that would improve it. And there are other parts of the movie that are like that. It's just like it's not fully investing you. It's not letting you. It doesn't trust you as much as it should. I feel like the writing in the original series, and Korra had this issue, just like the Aang movie, where it was kind of like explaining things. Not like Naruto or anything, and I do love Naruto. No shade. We love him. But like it does explain a lot of things that it shouldn't sometimes. Okay, maybe a lot. But anyway, it it does. And it just doesn't respect your intelligence. And I'm not saying that the Aang movie doesn't have moments where visual storytelling takes over, because it definitely does. But it's just I noticed that, and I was just like, "Ah, that's really minor," but that always annoyed me about movies. Like, just have the expression tell it. You don't have to have Aang say "I miss you." But anyway, that's minor. Again, you could say that's nitpickery. Valid point. That's okay. I'm not going to be mad at that. But it is something to note. And I feel like, anyway, just moving on, the movie just has issues. Um, I feel like the movie, and this is more of like an opinion. It's not necessarily entirely based on like any evidence or anything like that, but I really think that the movie could have benefited greatly from being a more. It's not that it's not so philosophical, but it could have been a little more in like it could have been a little more cerebral in a way. Like maybe Aang doesn't find an airbender and has to fight them like a Kung Fu Panda villain or something like that. Even though that's okay in concept. Maybe it was like maybe it'd be really cool if like the movie just didn't have like this crazy epic battle at the end and it was more like Aang had to like fight the villain with no bending or something to prove a point or something. You know what I mean? Like I know that sounds crazy and you guys are just going to full stop disagree, but like actually think about like you know he's the avatar. He's in the avatar state. He can just enter it at will. He should be able to just steamroll everything. Somehow Taga's just so powerful he can't and is able to like kill Aang and like even after he kills him and he gets resurrected, it's just like he is like struggling and fighting him. And you know, Taga enters that like enhanced form, that transformation, but like I don't know, man. Maybe I just all I'll say is this. So, unless any other points come to my head, because there are probably more, but I just feel like the movie, like I say it sucks. Maybe that's harsh. I think it kind of does in ways, but it's you got to understand, guys. It's been years. It's been like 5, 6 years or whatever since Avatar Studios was announced, and even longer if you think about like the prospect of like Brian and Mike doing the Netflix series. So it's been like 7, 6, 7 years, 6, 7. Um, it's been a while since we had the prospect of new Avatar content. There was that big drought after Korra, and then this was like the light at the end of the tunnel. So we've been waiting for content for a long time, and this movie especially, because this is a big project. Oh my God, can you imagine what it would be like, guys, if we had an Avatar animated movie with a film budget? Oh my God, it's incredible. Well, we finally have it, and we finally had the prospect of it. So it's been a long time coming for this. So you got to understand my I'm a little disappointed with the script. There are good things in it. Oh, actually, here's I know this. Wow, I'm really all over the place. I did say I would probably get to another flaw earlier, but I did remember another one. Isn't this is a pretty big one in my opinion. So when they are going through the immortal storm and Sokka has to, steer the ship and everything and Zuko is like guiding everybody on what to do. I actually think that's the problem. Zuko should not have been the one to conduct that entire plan. That should have been fucking Sokka. Sokka should have been the one who to say, "All right, Zuko, I need you down at the burner. I need you. I need you in the engine room. I need Toph. I need you to be up top to close up those holes. And Katara, I need you to put out those fires." That would have been fucking sick, dude. And it would have been a great callback to, Sozin's Comet when Sokka was with the airship and everything. Perhaps Tim Hedrick thought of something like that when he was writing the script, and maybe he felt that it would be too similar to Sozin's Comet, but I actually think it would be a really good character moment for him. Way more so than it would be an issue if it was a repeat of something from the original series. So, yeah, that's my issue with that. There are other things probably. I will probably mention them. But anyway, my point is we've been waiting. Man, that was a real tangent. We've been waiting for this movie for a long time. It should have been like, oh my God, this should have been like from a script perspective, I'm talking about. This should have been fucking crazy, man. This should have been like, you know how good the first Kung Fu Panda was? Like, just a really tight script, really good morals, good writing, good everything. Just a fun villain, great action. It was just a really solid movie. That's what this should have been. And I think from far away, it kind of looks like that. Because there are good moments in the story. There are good things. There's good aspects. Um, but yeah, it's just I feel like the script is just lacking in a lot of ways. It's got a lot of holes, a lot of small holes, maybe a couple medium holes, but there's a lot of them to where it kind of punches holes throughout the whole thing. Now it doesn't collapse the whole movie, that's for sure, um, and that's where I get to the positives here because holy fucking shit, this is a beautiful looking fucking movie. Oh my god. Dude, dude. The animation in this movie. I am just going to say this right now. I mean this. This might be some of the best fucking 2D animation I've ever seen. This is so good. Holy shit. Oh my god. It's so good. And I've been waiting for this movie for years. And this is the flip side part of the review. Because I do like this movie a lot. I actually love a lot of it. And a lot of it has to do with the technical aspect, for sure. But my God, let's just gush about it for a second. Holy shit, dude. I think that them going for that deep canvas thing that, Disney pioneered back in the 90s with the whole backgrounds being like mapped onto, a 3D space, but it doesn't look like CG. It looks like the painting moving around. I think that was absolutely genius that they went that route. Absolute fucking genius because it looks awesome, man. Korra did a lot of cool shit like that where it was they called it 2.5D because they had Matt Gabois be their compositor. And like they were always talking about how like, oh, Avatar didn't have a compositor, but when Korra happened, we had Matt Gabois come on, and it was like it really leveled us up. And they had a lot of really cool moments like that where it wasn't, I don't think it was quite deep canvas. I think they were just messing and warping with the image. But like this is fucking first rate shit, man. It does not look like CG. Like clearly it is CGI, but like it doesn't look like it. And when you're watching it, the frame rate is so smooth for it, and you're not at all thinking about it. You're not at all questioning like, "Oh, that doesn't look that good or anything." My God, man, they fucking knocked it out of the park. The hand drawn animation, the keyframes and the in betweens. I'm telling you this right now. I have paused the movie at like pretty much all throughout. I've tested this. The in betweens, I'm not fucking joking you, dude. They're perfect. You know how like Avatar and Korra and even like anime and shit like that, especially, has like these really wonky in betweens at times because in betweens are outsourced a lot of the time, and even when they're not outsourced, they don't have to be perfect for a TV production. They just have to be, an in between to make it smooth. And they always have these like the eye will be pointing to the left or some shit like that. This movie does not have that. So on top of them having way more frame count, the drawings being way more detailed, the designs being way more complex, they actually made sure every single in between was perfect. I don't know what else to say, man. It is just a gorgeous looking movie. You could literally just pause it. And like sometimes when you're like I said, you could watch Avatar or Korra and you could pause it at a moment and you might get unlucky and you might get an in between that just don't look great and you're kind of like, "Oh shit, look at that." This movie's not like that. You could just pause it. It's almost like it's a film and they gave it this treatment to where it's kind of like a CG movie. It's like Toy Story or something like that. There aren't any bad in betweens with a CG animated movie because it's all algorithm. The first frame leads to the next. So it transitions smoothly. That's just how CG animation works. Like there probably is an in between process, but it's more so like, okay, this pose to this pose and these micro poses and such. And you could pause Toy Story and nothing looks bad. Somebody just might have a weird facial expression because, Woody's closing his eyes or something and it just looks funny. But that's not actually an issue. This movie is like that, where the animation is so good, the in betweens are so well drawn that you could just pause it in the middle of an action scene. And it's like, oh my God, that looks like a fucking perfectly drawn keyframe. It's beautiful stuff. I have nothing but good things to say about the animation. Um, Also, extremely well directed. My God, man, they fill the fucking screen with so much stuff. The action is fantastic. Now, there's a complaint that people say online, and I don't disagree. I think that some people are right on it a little bit. That it feels like, the bending aspect isn't really focused on. It just kind of feels like, they're pushing around the air and like punching around and doing flips and shit like that. I I I don't 100% agree with it, but I could see where they're coming from. Regardless, though, the action in this movie is so good. Oh my God, the first fucking fight scene with Aang versus the Denied in the Southern Air Temple, man. Wow. It's so well fucking choreographed and it's just so exciting, man. It's so quick and like you could read everything perfectly. Incredible. My God, it's incredible. It's if you guys have seen it in a theater, well, first of all, I'm very jealous of you because I would love to do that. Um, but if you haven't seen it on a 4K OLED big TV with like HDR and like Dolby Atmos surround sound with a subwoofer, and like you crank that shit up, dude, you're missing out, bro. I'm telling you, it's next fucking level. It's like, if you've ever tested your subwoofer, you've ever tested your sound system with like a movie, like a really big movie like Jurassic Park, and you get to the T-Rex scene and you're like, "Oh my God, this is so incredible." You could hear the rain coming down from the back speakers and everything, and the Tyrannosaurus every time it takes the steps, it's like you feel the boom from the bass and everything. This is another one of those movies. They absolutely fucking bought their A game with the sound design. It is so good. It's fucking amazing. Everything sounds so high quality and so fucking crisp. Um, my God, man, it's just so fucking good. But anyway, another part of the sound. Oh my God, I'm gonna cry. Holy fuck, it's so good. The music, the fucking music in this movie is outrageously good. Jeremy Zuckerman absolutely killed his assignment, man. This score for this movie is so fucking good. I'm not even kidding. This sounds like I'm getting a little hyperbolic here. I'm getting a little excited. But I mean this. Now that it played in the LA and New York theaters, it qualifies for some fucking awards here. This deserves best original score. I'm not kidding. And now, granted, I haven't watched all the other movies that came out this year. I've watched a couple of them. But like this score, I put money down. It's better than any of the fucking DC or Marvel movies that came out this year, and it's definitely better than the Backrooms, and it's better than the Bone Temple. It's just my God, dude. The score for this movie is so fucking good. There are motifs that play throughout the score that I hum to myself, and I like ADHD OCD replay in my head. It's fucking crazy. Oh God, the music is incredible. It's so good. If a great track to look up, by the way. Look up "The Four Elements" by Jeremy Zuckerman from this movie. At like a minute and 30 seconds in, dude, it just brings tears to my eyes. It's just beautiful. And then there's another track, "Resurrected." It's when Katara saves everybody with her waterbending and heals everybody. Oh, wow. It's just beautiful. Beautiful stuff. The Avatar The Last Airbender score was very, very good, and I love it. And then they reorchestrated it for the actual releases, and it sounds much better. Korra always had a really great score. The score for Korra is incredible. This is like total. This isn't even next level. It's like next to fucking three levels. Like I always wanted to know, like, okay, Korra's music is really good, but is it good enough to be like film quality? And I do think that it could, I think it is, but like upon hearing this, I was I just went, oh, okay, this is film quality. Holy fuck. It's really good. I know I'm rambling, but I have nothing but good things to say about the visuals and the music and the sound design for this movie. It's really incredible. It's just fantastic. Um, yeah, it's also really cool to just hear, like, in the original series, Avatar and Korra, the earthbending sounds were very much from like a library that Ben Wynn and Jeremy Zuckerman had. And it was a good library. The sound design for those shows is incredible. But you could tell that they were using the same library. Now they changed some things for Korra, but most of the time it sounded like earthbending was earthbending sounds. The sounds from the original series. It sounded very iconic. Same thing with firebending. The way they mixed the sounds of them going whoosh and shit like that with all actual like real fire sounds and explosions. That sounded like it came from a library. This is really refreshing. And not in a bad way towards the other series, but it's really cool because now we actually have like feature quality sound design that they spent weeks and weeks and weeks and perhaps months designing. Like it's really incredible. The explosions all sound so fucking good. The avalanches, the fucking explode. Oh my god. Oh god. It's so good. Holy shit. I got nothing but good things to say about that. Um so I'm saying all these positive things, right? And I already said pretty much all the negatives that I wanted to mention. I'm sure there's probably others but that I forgot to mention and shit, but like I pretty much covered the big ones. Um the the visuals and the sound, everything on a technical level is just first rate. It's incredible. Like the art, direction, the sound, like everything, the animation, the character designs, everything, so good. Um, that's not all that's good. There is a story here that I think that if you could argue that Aang technically got past his trauma when he was opening the chakras with Guru Patik, and he did, and it's good enough for the show for him to like move on just a little bit, just enough. It's just enough, and it works. It still works for that show. But I do think that there is something, and this is not a flaw. Like I'm saying right now, it works for the show. But technically speaking, they could tell a story where Aang is still with survivor's guilt, and what does that mean? And they like I said, there's issues with the script, but I do think that the idea of this movie is a really good one. I really like that Aang is trying to get past the survivor's guilt. He's like taking trips to the air temples and he's spending time away from home and shit like that. It's good. It's a great idea for it. And I really like actually in the first scene, uh when he's fighting the denied, these motherfuckers, they don't care about his culture. They just want this power because that's how they view it. They feel like they've been wronged. They feel like they've lived their entire lives and they've had no say in the world. And they think because they're fucking assholes, they just want to take power. I want a superpower. I want to be able to fucking attack people and have all these opportunities, perhaps. I want this staff and I want this power. Oh, I'm just gonna blow up the Southern Air Temple and just get that map so we can go get that staff. They don't care about this fucking culture. They don't give a shit. They're superficial. And I really like that. That's actually like a really good scene that, like Aang is trying to preserve his culture and these motherfuckers roll in trying to steal his culture from him, but in a superficial way. They don't actually care about the teachings. They don't care about the philosophy. They just come in and they just literally view it from the surface, the power. And in a way, maybe Aang, because he misses his culture so much, doesn't view it that way, but he kind of is thinking, "Oh, air bending, air nomads, that's my culture." When it's really their teachings. And he comes to that end at the end of the movie, and I think it works. I really do think it works. I really like the intro scene with you know, Zuko's introduction. I thought that was a great scene. Just love seeing him at the throne, and there's a really funny joke with the chancellor and everything. It's really funny. I love Sokka's introduction. Very very good. I love, Katara being compassionate. She's there for him, and like she has his back the entire movie. Like there's good stuff in here. It's not all bad. It's really not. And it sucks, but it doesn't. The movie sucks, but it doesn't suck. I look at it from like a perspective like more critical. Like I'm like, yeah, that could be sharper. That could be tighter. There's good stuff. Toph's introduction is fantastic. Here's the big positive. I'm getting into this right now. The more I think about it, I'm thinking about the character introductions and everything. The pacing is fantastic. This is not a boring movie. This is not a dull movie at all. Holy shit. The story moves. It actually fucking moves. Now, I know it's a short movie, and perhaps that's kind of an issue because you kind of wish that maybe there were an extra like 15, 20 minutes to flesh some things out. Maybe even to explain some of the issues that I had away in a natural way and not in like an expository way. But I actually think it's like okay. It's fine. We get an hour and a half with our favorite characters again, and they're all adults and they're being badasses. And I have to recognize that that is good. That's fun. That's a fun time. Like that is like for all the issues I have with the script. And I'm sure there's probably more. There probably is more. I didn't feel like I was disrespected. I felt like I was like getting a nice little epilogue. Like you're seeing them again and it felt nice. And I really do think that the movie sticks the landing in the end. It doesn't stick it fucking perfectly. It definitely doesn't. It has a lot of inconsistencies, but it's extremely well paced. It is respectful to the characters for the most part because I think that Sokka and Zuko dynamic should have been shifted for that storm airship scene. I really do think that could have worked better. And yeah, I do think that Zuko being in the movie is kind of not justified. Like he's the Fire Lord. Why is he here? And I know that like Aang wanted him along, but like the script is not it's not diving into why he's really here. If they would have figured out a way to write in a line where it was like, okay, he has to come, like maybe he's about to go on vacation. They could have literally had a line where he says, yeah, I'm about to go on vacation anyway. Um, Iroh's going to take over or something or whatever. He's going to take a break. Do Fire Lords get vacations? Probably not. No. But I'm just saying they could have explained it. But anyway, that's there are things like that. The movie is flawed. It definitely is. But I genuinely think that if like you're just trying to enjoy the movie itself, like if you're just watching it and you're not thinking about it too hard and you're just like I just want more time with these guys and I want to see what Avatar would look like in a movie theater or well, on a movie budget, let's just say. And I want to see its animation at its very best, the music at its very best, all the stuff on a technical level at its very best. Everybody gets a moment. Toph gets this badass fight at the end. Um, Zuko's got a great moment. Sokka's got a lot of funny, good moments. Katara's got a couple great moments. Aang is fucking awesome in the movie. Like, you're just enjoying the whole movie. I really do think that if you just accept it for what it is, a flawed movie that probably went through hell to get here and wasn't treated very nicely by Paramount. And I think if you really think about it like that, um, it's okay. Like, it's not so bad. And I've talked to a couple guys on YouTube about this, and in like direct messages, and I've said to them before, I've said, I don't I think it sucks. I think the movie kind of sucks and it's disappointing and whatever. But the more I think about it, it does, but I it hurts to say it because I really really enjoy it. And I really do have a good time with it. I genuinely like we have spent so much time waiting for this. We so much time. We we needed a win here, and I really hope it pulls through. It's number one on Paramount Plus right now. It's the most watched movie on the platform at the moment, and everyone's talking about it online, at least in the fandom on Twitter. And there's tons of reviews out there, lots of good press, tons of interviews. It's somehow pulling through. Not as well as it should, because it should have been in theaters, and there's a lot of things that go into that, but it's it's a good movie. I like it. I really do. There may be a time where I'm a little more harsh on it. I don't know. But right now, I really do think I enjoy it. And I don't think I'll ever knock the visuals or the music because I don't even do that with Korra. And I used to love Korra, guys. I don't know. Maybe some of you have been around on my channel for a while when my name was different. But I used to like Korra a lot. Uh, I used to defend it a lot in YouTube comments, actually. But that's changed. And I just kind of like, this movie we've waited for so long, and I've even thought of an Avatar movie a long time ago, way before 2018, 2019, 2020. I've always imagined what it would be like if we had Avatar with this budget, and it's one of my dreams for this franchise, and we have it. It actually happened. We actually have this movie. It's a real thing that exists, and you can watch it. I really hope that it has a physical release, a 4K Blu-ray, and you're able to like listen to the commentary and all the special features and stuff. I really think it needs that. I think it would be because I'll buy it day one. And the art book, I'm there, man, because this is a gorgeous movie with a lot of love and blood, sweat, and tears that put into it. And I'm down with that shit. And I am buying the vinyl when the soundtrack comes out. I don't even have a fucking vinyl player, and I'm just gonna buy it because I bought book one, two, and three soundtrack. My book three vinyl came in today in the mail. And I don't even have a vinyl player, but I have it just to have it because it's a part of history for Avatar, and I want it. And I want to do it with this movie too. So yeah, I got a lot of problems with the script. I really do, and perhaps dove more in depth with those problems than I went in with the script good things. But I think the overall experience is a lot of fun. I never was watching this movie and went, "What the fuck?" I never did that. I may have went, "Oh, what?" after the fact when I thought about some things, but I never ever was bored by it. It's very well paced. It's a decent length, even though it should be a little bit longer. It's great to see my favorite characters. Zuko is my guy. Look at him, his beautiful hair. Wow, look at him go. Toph is so cute. We love her. And Aang is my man. And Katara and Sokka, they're 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 great. We love them. We love the brother and sister that opened the series. We really do. This is a good movie. It's a lot of fun, and I think you should watch it. I think you should support it, and I don't want to get melodramatic here. I definitely don't, and I think that this can come off as a little bit as backtracking, and a little bit of like, damage control or whatever. But I guess, now that we have the movie, and you can say this all you want. You can say, "Oh, well, now that he has the movie, he's fine." Now that after all the complaining and bitching and moaning, he's fine now. Of course he is. But listen, they gave us the movie, and I like it. It's got problems, but I did enjoy myself. I like it a lot. I'm a big animation buff. I'm a big Avatar fan. Like, you fucking know this. I was pleased with it, flaws and all. It's the best looking 2D animated film in the past, God knows how many fucking years, 20, 30, 40 fucking years, I don't know. like 30 years maybe, close to. It's gorgeous. And I just want to say, uh, Brian and Mike, you're not watching this. I know you weren't, but I am saying this to you. Um, I apologize. I apologize for being so rough, so hard on you, because it probably isn't easy. It's probably really, really, really fucking hard to see all this happen and to go through all this. And yes, I still have issues with Korra. And yes, I'm still annoyed with the creative decisions that you've had. And I don't agree with everything. And I don't even agree with everything in this movie. But I apologize if I came off as a petulant prick. And I'm allowed to have an opinion. Absolutely. I'm allowed to get passionate. I'm allowed to get even a little angry and maybe even rant. But perhaps I've gone too far in a few places. And I apologize for that because I know you guys love what you do. And this movie is proof of that. So, that is my review of the movie. I really fucking like it. But a lot of it's kind of like disappointing. You know what I mean? That's kind of the review. It's like, it's good, but it's also awesome. It's not that great, but it's fucking sick. That's the movie. It's fucking awesome. I love it. I love the movie. I don't even like it. I love this movie. I had a lot of fun. Go support it. Do whatever you want in the comments. Fucking debate on all my points. Have conversations, whatever. Call me a fucking asshole. Say that I'm a talentless prick and that I'm a douchebag and that I don't deserve anything good, just like you always will. I've had some like really nasty comments on Twitter. Like some dude told me to go fuck myself or something recently because I was saying shit about Seven Havens. But yeah. Anyway, hope you guys stuck around. This is an hour-long talk about the Aang movie. Yeah, that's it. It's a good movie. It's good, guys. Go watch it. Peace.